somewhere on a job site right now. A backhoe older than the operator running it is still digging, still loading, still earning its keep. Some machines quit at 6,000 hours. A rare few just refuse to die, outlasting owners, outliving warranties, and racking up decades of abuse without flinching. These are the backhoe loaders built like anvils, the ones mechanics respect and buyers fight over used. Here are 10 backhoes engineered to survive anything, counting down to the toughest survivor ever built. Number 10. Volvo BL71. We kick off the countdown with a machine that proves a backhoe doesn't need a 50-year badge to earn a reputation for toughness. The Volvo BL71 was built between 2006 and 2012, with the updated BL71 Plus and BL71B carrying the line forward toward the end of the decade. And here's the thing about Volvo, the BL71 wasn't rushed to market. It was the result of years of research into what operators actually wanted, and Volvo built the machine around 4 priorities: durability, power, quality, and environmental care. That focus shows up in the metal. This is a roughly 6-ton machine powered by a turbocharged diesel, producing somewhere between 74 and 88 horsepower, depending on configuration, with plenty of torque for digging, lifting, and shoving heavy material around all day. But raw numbers aren't why it makes this list. It's the engineering details that keep a backhoe alive for the long haul. The self-leveling loader linkage, the curved boom design, and the cushioned backhoe cylinders that soften the shock at the end of every swing. Every time those cylinders slam to a stop, that stress the frame has to absorb. Cushioning them means less fatigue, and less fatigue means a longer life. Volvo also built these with corrosion in mind. Well-finished frames and quality components that hold up in wet, salty, punishing environments where cheaper machines rust from the inside out. Combine that with Volvo's global dealer and parts network, and you've got a backhoe that's genuinely supportable a decade or more after it left the factory. Operators who've run BL71s tend to say the same thing. It's smooth, it's stable, and it just keeps working. It's not the flashiest machine in this countdown, and it's not the oldest, but a well-maintained BL71 will shrug off years of hard service and still command respect on the used market. That's exactly why it earns the number 10 spot. Number 9. Terex TLB840. Next up is a machine with a bloodline most people don't know about. The Terex TLB840 might wear Terex colors, but its DNA traces straight back to Massey Ferguson, and that heritage is a big part of why it's so durable. When Terex launched the TLB840, it was billed as the 9th generation of backhoe loaders in that lineage, and it spent a full 5 years in development before it ever hit a job site. That's not a machine thrown together to chase a trend. That's a design refined over decades. Under the hood sits a proven Perkins diesel, around 88 horsepower, which in later Tier 4 versions became the Perkins 1204 E-Series with a wastegate turbocharger. Perkins engines have a well-earned reputation in this industry, simple, rugged, and easy to rebuild when the day finally comes. Pair that with an available 4-speed power synchro transmission, and you've got a driveline built to grind out hours. But the clever part is the top-mounted loader cylinder, a design cue Terex deliberately carried over from its Massey Ferguson roots. It's a proven layout, and the TLB840 backs it up with a hydromechanical self-leveling system that helps the operator keep material in the bucket all the way to full height instead of spilling it and re-scooping, which saves cycles and saves wear. What really makes the TLB840 a survivor, though, is its philosophy. This is an honest, mechanically straightforward machine. There's no reputation for overcomplication here. Just a strong frame, a dependable engine, generous dig depth of nearly 15 feet standard, and a design that mechanics can actually work on without a computer science degree. In a world where backhoes are getting more and more electronic, simplicity is longevity. For contractors who want a workhorse that keeps costs down and keeps running, the TLB840 has quietly built a loyal following. It's not the most common backhoe on the road, but the ones out there tend to stay out there, earning it a solid number 9. Number 8. Komatsu WB146 WB97. At number 8, we turn to Japanese engineering and Komatsu's WB series backhoes. particularly the WB146 and the WB97. If you know Komatsu, you know the reputation. Build quality that borders on obsessive, and machines that treat maintenance intervals as suggestions they'll happily exceed. The WB146-5 runs around 88 to 89 horsepower, while the larger WB97 models push closer to 98 horsepower, with operating weights north of 19,000 pounds. These aren't lightweight machines. They're built with real steel and real hydraulics, and that heft is part of the durability story. A heavier, more robustly built frame simply absorbs abuse better over thousands of hours. Komatsu's advantage has always been its integration. As one of the few manufacturers that builds a huge range of its own components, engines, hydraulics, and drivetrains designed to work together, Komatsu backhoes tend to have well-matched systems that don't fight each other. The variable displacement piston pumps in these machines deliver strong, efficient hydraulic performance, and Komatsu's diesels are known for running clean and running long when they're serviced properly. The WB146 in particular offers a synchronized gearbox with a power shift shuttle, giving operators smooth directional changes without hammering the driveline, and every gentle shift is one less shock loading the transmission. Over a machine's life, that adds up to real longevity. What holds Komatsu back from ranking higher isn't the machine, it's ubiquity. In North America especially, the WB series never dominated the way Case, Deere, JCB, or Cat did, which means the used population is smaller and parts can take a little more effort to source in some regions. But make no mistake, where these machines have been maintained, they've proven themselves as long-lived, hard-working survivors. For operators who value refined engineering and a machine that feels tight and controlled even at high hours, the Komatsu WB is a quietly excellent choice. It's the precision instrument of this countdown, and it holds down number 8 with confidence. Number 7. New Holland B95. At number 7 is a backhoe that carries one of the most underrated lineages in the entire industry. The New Holland B95 and its larger siblings like the B110 and B115 descends directly from the legendary Ford backhoe bloodline. When Ford's construction equipment operations flowed into New Holland, the tough, no-nonsense engineering of those old Ford 555 machines didn't disappear. It evolved. And that inheritance is exactly why the B95 belongs on a list about service life. The B95 is a roughly 97 horsepower machine built for the meat and potatoes work that municipalities, utility crews, and general contractors do every single day. Trenching, backfilling, loading trucks, digging footings. It's not trying to be exotic, it's trying to be reliable, and it succeeds. What gives the B-Series its staying power is a combination of a durable powertrain, dependable hydraulics, and a design that emphasizes serviceability. Because this family of machines has been sold in enormous numbers across decades under the Ford, New Holland, and related badges, the parts network is deep and the mechanical knowledge is everywhere. When a machine is easy to fix and parts are easy to find, it doesn't get scrapped, it gets repaired and put back to work. That's the single biggest factor in real-world service life, and the B95 has it in spades. You'll find these backhoes still grinding away in city fleets and on farms long after their original purchase, precisely because they were bought by buyers who value total cost of ownership over flash. The power shuttle transmission handles constant direction changes, four-wheel drive versions dig in on soft ground, and the whole machine is sized right for the widest range of everyday jobs. The New Holland B95 doesn't get the glory that some names on this list do, but it's a genuine workhorse with legendary genes, and the sheer number still earning a living is all the proof you need. That's a well-deserved number 7. Number 6. Caterpillar 420. Halfway through the countdown, and we arrive at the machine many rental yards consider the backbone of their fleet, the Caterpillar 420. If the smaller Cat backhoe is the sharpshooter, the 420 is the heavyweight, the larger, more powerful center pivot backhoe that Cat built for operators who needed more muscle, more reach, and more capability from a single machine. The 420 shares the Caterpillar backhoe DNA that makes these machines famous. Heavy, laboratory-validated structures, quality hydraulics, and Cat's own C-Series diesel engines that have proven themselves across millions of hours in machines all over the planet. When Caterpillar builds a backhoe, the frame, boom, and stick are engineered to survive maximum stress conditions, and that structural integrity is why high-hour Cat backhoes so often still have straight, tight frames when competitors are sagging and cracking. But the real secret to the 420's longevity is the ecosystem around it. There is no bigger dealer and parts network in construction equipment than Caterpillar's. Anywhere in the world you break down, there's likely a Cat dealer who can get you a part and a technician who knows the machine cold. That supportability is worth as much as any spec sheet, because a backhoe that can always be fixed is a backhoe that never really dies. It just gets rebuilt and keeps going. The 420 is also a favorite in the rental world, and rental machines live the hardest lives imaginable. Different operators every week, minimal babying, maximum hours. The fact that the 420 thrives in that brutal environment and still holds strong resale value years later tells you everything about how it's built. Buyers trust it, and trust is earned over decades, not marketing cycles. Powerful, supportable, and built like Caterpillar builds everything to be repaired rather than replaced. The 420 is a machine you buy expecting to hand it down. That makes it a rock-solid number 6, and it sets the stage for its smaller, even more legendary sibling later in this list. Number 5. John Deere 310. Cracking the top 5 is a machine that's been a fixture on North American job sites for more than half a century. The John Deere 310. Deere entered the backhoe business in 1971 with the original JD 310. A 50-horsepower machine that launched what would become one of the most enduring backhoe lines in construction history. And here's the remarkable part. More than 50 years later, the 310 nameplate is still going strong, now in the form of the 310L and the 310G tier. When a model name survives that long, it's not an accident, it's reputation. Deere itself frames the 310 story around a single word it keeps coming back to: reliability. That's not just marketing. The original 310 earned favor with contractors and municipalities because of its simple mechanics, strong hydraulic performance, and easy service access. When you can get to the components that need attention without tearing half the machine apart, maintenance actually gets done, and machines that get maintained are machines that last. The modern versions double down on longevity in a smart way. The 310L EP and the G tier use a Yanmar 3.3-liter diesel that meets emission standards without needing external after-treatment components. That's a genuinely important durability feature. Fewer complex parts bolted onto the exhaust means fewer things to fail, lower complexity, and lower total cost of ownership over the machine's life. Deere specifically designed these to minimize the number of parts a customer has to maintain, and simplicity, as we keep seeing on this list, is the friend of service life. Add a rugged steel frame, a proven driveline, and one of the strongest dealer and parts networks in the business, and you've got a backhoe that fleets by the dozen and run into the ground, except they rarely reach the ground because they just keep running. The John Deere 310 is the definition of a dependable workhorse, unglamorous, ubiquitous, and almost impossible to kill with normal use. 50+ years of continuous production doesn't lie. That's a strong number 5. Number 4. Ford 555. Now we get into legend territory. The Ford 555 is, for a huge number of operators, the machine that defines the phrase, "they don't build them like they used to." Produced from 1978 all the way through the mid-1990s, the 555 series evolved from a simple mechanical tractor-loader backhoe into a high-torque commercial workhorse used on farms, construction sites, and in municipalities all over the world. And decades after the last one rolled off the line, they are still out there working, which is the entire point of this list. The heart of the early 555, 555A, and 555B was Ford's famous 201 cubic inch, 3.3-liter three-cylinder diesel, an engine prized for exactly the qualities that create long service life: mechanical simplicity, brute durability, and dead-easy serviceability. Later, with the 555C in 1989, Ford moved to a 4-cylinder diesel that brought more torque for heavier excavation. But across the whole range, the theme never changed. This was an honest, straightforward machine with no unnecessary complexity to break. How long do they actually last? Ask the people who wrench on them, and the answer is genuinely eye-opening. With good maintenance, the engine and transmission on a 555 can run in the neighborhood of 10,000 hours. That's the kind of number that turns a machine into an heirloom. And because Ford built and sold these in such enormous volume over such a long production run, parts availability is excellent, and nearly every heavy equipment mechanic knows them inside and out. Now, honesty matters on a list that promises real facts. Those old 201 blocks do have a known weakness. If you let the cooling system go and overheat one, you can crack it. But that's a maintenance failure, not a design failure. Keep coolant in it and oil changed, and the 555 rewards you with decades of service. Simple, tough, endlessly repairable, and beloved by everyone who's owned one. The Ford 555 is a bona fide survivor and an easy number 4. Number 3. Caterpillar 416. At number 3, we return to Caterpillar, but this time to the machine that started it all for Cat, and arguably set the modern standard for a backhoe built to last, the Caterpillar 416. When Caterpillar introduced the 416 in November of 1985, it wasn't just launching a product, it was entering the backhoe business for the first time, and the company was determined not to get it wrong. Consider how this machine was born. The 416 was the result of 5 years of intensive study, thousands of hours of competitive product evaluation, and close to 2,000 customer interviews, all aimed at finding out what operators needed and weren't getting from existing backhoes. Cat didn't guess. It researched, then engineered accordingly, and durability was baked in from the very start. The main frame, the boom, the stick, and the loader arms were all laboratory tested under maximum stress conditions, specifically to guarantee adequate structural life. That is the kind of engineering discipline that separates a machine that survives 20 years from one that cracks in 5. Then there's the engine. The 416B and its successors ran Caterpillar's 3054 diesel, a 4-cylinder, roughly 4-liter unit that is genuinely well known in the industry for durability and low maintenance. The modern 416 uses the Cat C 3.6, delivering even better efficiency while keeping that legendary Cat toughness. These engines don't just run, they endure. But the 416's greatest strength might be everything wrapped around the machine. It became one of the most popular backhoes ever sold, which means an enormous global fleet, deep parts availability, and Caterpillar's unmatched dealer support standing behind it everywhere. A machine this well built and this well supported doesn't get retired, it gets serviced, rebuilt, and passed along, often changing hands multiple times while still holding real value. Walk onto job sites today and you'll find 416s that are pushing 30 years old, still digging trenches and loading trucks. That's not luck. That's the payoff of a machine engineered from day one to last. The Caterpillar 416 takes a commanding number 3. Number 2. Case 580 Super N Construction King. At number 2 stands a machine whose family literally invented the category. Before Case, there was no such thing as a factory-integrated loader backhoe. In 1957, Case built the industry's first, the Case 320, and in doing so created the machine that every other name on this list would eventually chase. The mind behind it was engineer Elton Long, who joined Case in 1956 and went on to earn 46 patents designing and improving construction equipment. That original 320 wore the name Construction King, and nearly 70 years later, the Case 580 still proudly carries it. The modern flagship, the 580 Super N Construction King, is a beast of a workhorse, 97 horsepower, and over 14,000 pounds of backhoe bucket breakout force, with a power drive transmission built to shrug off hills and heavy loads. But specs alone don't explain why the 580 is a survivor. It's the whole philosophy, decades of continuous refinement of a proven design, wrapped in a rugged frame with strong hydraulics and a driveline engineered for constant punishing duty cycles. And here's what really cements the 580's longevity: history and support. This is a machine backed by a lineage stretching over 65 years and a company with more than 180 years of building equipment behind it. That means a colossal used population, deep parts availability, and generations of mechanics who know these machines cold. Go looking and you'll still find old 580CK, 580B, 580C, and 580D machines from decades past out there earning a living precisely because they're simple, tough, and endlessly supportable. Case has never stopped pushing the line forward, either. In 2024, it even became the first company to bring a fully electric backhoe to market with the 580 EV. But it's the classic diesel Construction Kings that built the reputation. Buy one, maintain it, and it will outwork machines half its age for inventing the category, and then spending nearly 7 decades perfecting a backhoe famous for taking abuse and coming back for more. The Case 580 Construction King earns a towering number 2. Number 1. JCB3 CX, and at number 1, there was only ever one real contender. The JCB3CX isn't just a backhoe with a long service life. It's the machine that made the backhoe loader a household name, and it is, by a wide margin, the most successful and enduring backhoe the world has ever seen. The story starts in 1953, when JCB founder Joseph Cyril Bamford invented the modern backhoe loader itself, combining a front shovel and a rear excavator arm on a single machine for the very first time with the MK1 excavator. That invention created an entire industry. Then, in 1980, JCB introduced the 3CX, and in 1985 launched the 3CX Sightmaster, which went on to become the best-selling backhoe loader JCB has ever built. This is the machine so common across Europe and beyond that for millions of people, the words backhoe and JCB are basically the same thing. The numbers are staggering. JCB has produced well over 1 million backhoe loaders, a milestone no competitor comes close to, and it has been the world market leader in backhoes for roughly a quarter of a century, commanding more than half the global market. When a single machine is that dominant for that long, an entire ecosystem grows around it. Parts on every continent, technicians in every country, and a used market so deep that a broken 3CX is almost always worth fixing rather than scrapping. Underneath, the 3CX earns its longevity honestly, robust, proven engines, including JCB's own Diesel Max and earlier Perkins units, a heavy-duty frame refined over more than 40 years of production, and clever features like torque lock that reduce driveline strain and fuel use on the road. Decade after decade, JCB has layered in improvements, turbocharging, power shift transmissions, all-wheel drive, extending dippers, without ever losing the durable, serviceable core that lets these machines run for 20-30 years and beyond. Walk any job site, anywhere on Earth, and you'll find a 3CX still digging, many of them older than the crews running them. Most produced, most supported, most enduring, and the original of the entire breed. The JCB 3CX is the undisputed king of backhoe longevity and the only possible number 1. If you had to trust just one of these to still be running 20 years from now, which would you pick? Drop your vote in the comments. Tell us how many hours you've squeezed out of yours, and if this countdown was worth your time, hit that like button and subscribe for more heavy equipment deep dives. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.